It took forever, but we're live. Guns up, giddy up. Good morning. This is Failure to Stop podcast. I'm not Eric. We'll explain what Eric's at and why he's not here in just a few minutes. But I've got myself this morning. We got Tyler from the Anti-Hero podcast. And just because we love to stir controversy up, we're going to be talking about the Kyle Rittenhouse case because it's come up in the news again because he's going to be at Shell Shock. Maybe not. I don't know. But it's a big whole thing that's a big mess, and I should have been more prepared this morning, so I'm going to go ahead and kick it
The
away.
growing calls across the nation to defund the police.
To end policing as we know it.
Off the charts violence in New York City. 11 people shot in just 8 hours on
This is
Sunday.
about the police officers who every single day put on that uniform and they run towards danger when we run away from it.
Guns up, giddy up. Welcome back to another episode of Failure to Stop. Again, I'm not Eric. I am Deadleg, and I am joined this morning by Tyler from the Anti-Hero podcast. And we are doing the Kyle Rittenhouse case because Kyle's coming to Shell Shock, and it pissed a bunch of people off, but it was a secret, but it's not a secret. Good morning, Tyler.
Guns up, giddy up. I asked Eric if he wanted to come on today, and he said he was too busy. He called me, and he did the Eric thing, right? He called me and then didn't let me talk for about 3 minutes while he told me what was going on. And then I was like, all right. And he goes, all right, bro, I got to go. And then I was laying in bed like, okay.
My tab crashed. I'm back.
All right. Yeah, so Eric's in North Carolina. Actually, all jokes aside, he's doing the Lord's work, volunteering his time to essentially is a rescue effort that every state is sending people because the federal government, which this could be its own show in itself, has dropped the ball or purposely not being involved in the recovery and rescue efforts of the people in North Carolina. So whether or not the government was involved in what happened, I don't want to be disrespectful, and a lot of people, are dead. And a lot of people think that's an ill taste to already start saying that it was a conspiracy. So we won't go down that road. But we will say that the federal government's efforts have been lacking, if there have been any at all.
Oh, it's okay because we've sent $567 million to Taiwan during this entire same time frame, and then we announced that FEMA's broke and we don't have any money for that, but we spent over $1 billion on illegal immigrants. So what does an American have to do to get help from America these days?
Well, the first thing you can do is come to Orlando, Florida on October 19th to Shell Shock. We got probably some big news to announce later today. And this is turned into a fucking shit show. So this is a pro-America event. We'll touch on this in a little bit. Just wanted to plug it. But yeah, so Eric is not going to be here. I think he'll be back probably within the next couple of days.
He should be back by next week.
All right.
But we've got if he's not back next week, the only show that he'll really miss will be Monday, because Wednesday we can still roll along. Thursday for illegal shift will still roll along, and then we can do this again next Friday. And we will probably end up touching on this. If it's not, I don't know that it'll be a full episode for Last Call, but for Fox, we'll definitely be touching on this because, like you said, we've got the federal government is actively doing things to circumvent recovery efforts. Yeah. Like it's great that the president and vice president came a week late. So let's start there. But then you put flight restrictions in. So helicopters and rescue efforts and everything in can get out. So what people don't understand is the problem with putting these in for the helicopters. It's not like we can go clear the tree off the road and we can get the fire truck and ambulance up the road to go get grandma and the kids and the people holding insulin. There is no road. There's no road to clear. There's trees and everything, but there's nothing. It's gone. It's all gone. There's no road to go to. So the only way that you're able to get to these places is by helicopter or by horseback or by foot. And that's why it's taken so long to get to these places. And then we're hearing that FEMA is actively telling people not to get involved, and you have to apply to get a permit to be a volunteer with FEMA. And then they want to put the drones down, and that they were going to arrest a helicopter pilot for doing rescue things. Arrest me. Okay. When we go to court, I'll have what we call a jury of my peers, AKA my fellow survivors that I just used my helicopter to rescue. then you arrested me and said that I did something wrong, and we'll see who's wrong. This is where November, this is where voting, this is where all this stuff matters, because right now we've literally sent billions of dollars to other countries. I don't remember. Did you get the memo that Ukraine's dropping money off for recovery effort to the United States? I missed that memo.
I missed that one too, bro.
I missed that one too. Good night.
But yeah, so we'll address the super chat. I don't know where it went. Oh,
let me pull it back up here.
I just wanted to get shamed by Tyler really quick. After 5 years of being a city cop, just lateral to the state patrol. Oh, nice. I'm not like Eric. I don't shit on troopers. I don't know what Eric must have gotten fucking touched by and diddled by a trooper back in the day. But my brother actually left where I work now and went to work for Montana Highway Patrol, Highway State, whatever. Montana's state police. And he fucking loves it. And Florida State Police has the bad, well, their rap's getting better, but typically like a state trooper is crashes and tickets. But I mean, a lot of them have like drug task force and gang task force, and they're part of law enforcement task force just like anybody else. So good for you, man. I hope the retirement transferred over, but probably didn't.
Yeah, you know, we make fun of like the Coast Guard and the Navy,
yeah,
and the Air Force. It's just because it just comes down to jealousy.
Yeah,
he's just mad that the troopers get paid the same amount of money, if not more, to wear a really cool hat.
Dude, I know that authoritarian hat.
I'm just saying, it's jealousy.
But yeah. So, whoa! I just hit my camera. Hold on.
We're flying by the seat of our pants this morning.
Yeah. We had a crazy morning. So
what a crazy week. Let's go there.
Yeah, this morning though. So all right, touch up. Let's recap on shell shock and the Kyle Rittenhouse controversy. All right, so this is the second annual shell shock we're doing in October 19th in Orlando, Florida. Obviously, failure to stop involved. You'll be there. Eric's gonna be there. Tons of people will create. I think Will Craze will be there. Like tons of people from our support network will be there. Failure to stop MAGA. Oh, I thought you said MAGA meetup. That's what people are calling it. Anyway,
we can fix that.
So October 19th. When we do this, we donate to a PTSD charity. This year it's the Cat 2 Foundation. A lot of kind of influencing celebrities hit us up and they go, hey, what can we do to help? The biggest thing they can do is show up and be there, right? So we asked, and so we got people like Conservative Anthony's going to be there, Platinum Mike Perry's going to be there, King Picks Media is going to be there, and one of the first people to reach out and offer their services was Kyle Rittenhouse, and Kyle Rittenhouse is going to be there. Last week or the beginning Sunday, the headlining band of Shell Shock pulled out because of Kyle Rittenhouse's attendance. Therefore, within 4 hours, every single band pulled out. Couldn't figure out why. And it turns out it was the liberal media mob, not liberal media, the liberal lynch mob came out, the woke mob came after them and bullied the fuck out of them into submission until they had to quit. So once the bands were gone, this mob turned itself on us, and we're still combating social media comments. They're trying to get us shut down. I mean, if you go look at the post, there's just people just fucking shit talking it. It's insane. It turns out that this issue was pretty much subcontracted to Antifa. They were given the reins to just let us have it. So therefore now Antifa's involved. That's going on this side. We're also dealing with the artist side. And then because of that, we had a lot of people step up. Michael Lisbon, a Nashville country artist that used to be a cop, shot someone in the face that was about to kill a baby. He'd be a great guest on here, by the way. He's now a country music artist, and he's volunteered his services. We got Rocky Luciano, a 2A pro-Trump canceled rapper out of South Florida. He's coming. We got the Marine rapper out of California. He's canceled. He's coming. Huge following. And then, of course, we've got the System of a Down tribute band called Lost in Hollywood, and Sick, the Slipknot tribute band, America's #1 Slipknot tribute band out of Texas. They're both out of Texas, right? And they might be like, wow, why the fuck do you have a tribute band? for your headliner. So we were left high and dry. We had nothing. We were like, well, it's an event, right? Once Evergreen Terrace, the old headliner, pulled out, I was expecting to have to refund everybody. We've had like 3 requests. So clearly people were going to the event so much rather than to go see that headliner in particular. So we were like, well, we got to throw an event. We got to raise money. We got a bunch of people coming. We're going to party and have a good time. So our buddies from Whiskey and Windage, Mike called me and goes, hey man, how are you doing? Hey man, check out this thing. There's a bunch of bands that played at this thing called Kalash Bash in Texas. I think that if they'll play Kalash Bash, which is a gun event, you might be on the right track. So one of them was Sick, a Slipknot tribute band. I called them, told them what was going on, and they're like, oh yeah, we know, we're tracking. You know, we can see it all over the headlines. And he's like, we'd be honored, man. I'm like, you're not freaked out? He goes, we're from Texas, bro. We don't give a fuck about that shit. And I was like, hell yeah. So that's the lineup right now. There's probably going to be a lot more bigger names added to this because of the scale of where it's gone. I don't know what the fuck's going to happen on October 19th, to be honest with you. But there's going to have to be a lot of security, not to scare anybody, but to make sure it runs and it runs efficiently and it's not derailed in any situation. We're just going to have to be on top of it, but it's ever evolving every hour. So it's like every time you think we got it, something happens, good or bad, that escalates it. And then we got to get on top. So October 19th, Orlando, Florida. October 18th, we'll have the comedy show, the live podcast at the veteran-owned brewing company, Tactical Brewing Company. Yep. And then that's October 18th, Friday night. And October 19th, it's going down.
Ooh. What is the hotel? Sheridan or not? Is it Sheridan, Orlando North?
Yeah, dude, they're selling out. So if you and Eric and all them, we need to know. We need to know if anybody here hasn't gotten their hotel, because I think last time I checked, they only had 7 rooms available because of this thing. So, and they want to be able to give the shell shock rate, save you some money. So,
yep, it'll be a good time. I would say I was excited before, and I'm more excited now. I was excited before. I'm way more excited now. The other side of this, I would say doubling down on like the anti-cancel call. Like it's everything that we all stand for.
Yeah.
Like,
and they're pissed.
I'm not a big, yeah. Oh yeah.
They're mad.
And I'm not a big punk rock. Like I grew up with some of that stuff, but I'm not like in that culture like you and Eric are, but I still want to go because I want to support, just like you said at the beginning. I wasn't necessarily there for all the bands, but I'm there to support the culture, support the movement, support getting money for veterans and helping that out. I might not like all the bands, but I like some of them. And who knows, I might find a band that I like, but I love this. I love doubling down. I love we can be big on the internet, but you get like 2 people to show up in real life.
Yeah. I'm wondering, I mean, if someone like or affiliated with Antifa shows up, how many? I don't think there's going to be an army. Unless Soros gets a hold of this and wants to fund them, but I don't think we're big enough yet.
I was going to say that they need some funding because they're going to have to buy tickets to get in. I'm sure there's going to be some sort of security at the door. So
yeah,
I don't know how you can hate from outside the club. Can't even get in.
They're going to have to. Anyways, Kyle
Rittenhouse.
I don't think I've ever watched a breakdown on this shit.
Oh, let me add. I'll bring the video up here in a second. So Kyle Rittenhouse, this whole, even today, as I started doing more research to poll to have all of like the receipts, like we say, we want to have the receipts for everything we talk about. Even still today, this is October 4th, 2024. This is 3 years after the incident. It's still difficult to find things. Not only that, the information that's out there is still lying. Like the things that are being said about this case and what was factually come out in a court of law and what a media source is reporting are 2 different things. Yeah. So then the media source isn't reporting a factual news source. They're reporting their opinion. And there is a lot of opinion pieces that are being put off as facts. So the facts of the case, he's acquitted. Not guilty. He was acquitted. He was acquitted on first-degree intentional homicide, attempted first-degree homicide, first-degree reckless homicide, first-degree reckless endangering the safety of 2 counts, underage possession of a dangerous weapon, failure to comply with emergency order from a state or local government. All of these charges combined could have resulted in a maximum of 205 years behind bars.
And here's the thing, and I know if it doesn't tell you how that he's innocent with a not guilty conviction of a jury of your peers, let me remind you, they wanted blood on this kid. They wanted to fry him. If there was even a chance he was going to go down as a sacrificial lamb, it was going to happen, and they still didn't even have that.
Not only that, I don't remember on the other side of it how many trials, how many people went to trial or how many people went to court for rioting, for civil disobedience, for arson, for assault. How many people? How many of those people? Because I remember the governor that's running for vice president right now. I remember he was saying we're not going to arrest him. And then I remember the vice president of the United States back then. She actually had a bail fund set up to get these people back out on the streets.
Yep, I remember that.
So
a lot of people are like, well, he didn't need to be there. Who needed to be there? Who else? All the rioters that were burning down the city, destroying things. Were they supposed to be there? So you can't sit there and say Kyle Rittenhouse shouldn't have been there. He put himself there. Well, guess what? Everybody else did too.
Yep. Guess what? One of the people that got shot was a convicted pedophile. That's a felony. A felony disqualifies you from possessing any firearm. So why did this convicted pedophile felon attack him with a firearm? Were there charges brought to him? Did he ever see court?
Kyle was a minor at the time, so maybe he wanted to.
Maybe that's what I don't know. I don't. But there were never charges brought against him, because if this is the case, which it was self-defense. He was defending himself against someone with a firearm. Did the person attacking him with a firearm, did that person ever stand trial? I know the other person with the skateboard, he's not able to attack anybody else ever again. So sad.
Didn't he kill 2 of them?
I think he killed one. No, yeah, you're right. Because you're right. There was,
and he shot someone's arm off.
Yep. Yeah. Yeah. I got that in the video. So, in looking for all of this, so what had been going down? We gotta set the scene. So we're in Wisconsin. There have been riots because the Derek Chauvin case with George Floyd. That's not a protest. If you have a building on fire and people are getting shot, that's a riot. Okay. So let's start not crossing words. It's a riot. Civil disobedience. Okay. It's a riot. It's not a protest.
Yeah. There's actively protesting. There's civil unrest, and then there's rioting. Civil disobedience, civil unrest, kind of the same pseudonym or synonyms, but rioting is where it always escalates there.
Yep. Because so civil disobedience would be the people blocking the road. It's not a riot, and they are protesting, but they're not actively encouraging violence. They're not hitting cars that are trying to pass them. They're just blocking the road. Now, if they start hitting cars, now it's a different story. Now you're actively introducing violence into a situation that now it's a riot. Now it's more than what it was. So this has been going on for days leading up to this. The city had been burning. The city burnt more afterwards. They still have riots. So to think that this one little incident is what it was, the government, the big media, they needed somebody else to hang. They didn't have the Derek Chauvin case, couldn't happen fast enough. So they needed something else. So what happens? This 17-year-old kid at the time, and they keep talking about bringing the firearm across state lines. He never brought a firearm across state lines. The firearm was in the state where it was used.
Oh, so I know the beautiful thing about the Second Amendment is that it applies to all states.
Oh, and the awesome thing about self-defense is it doesn't matter whether you're a minor or not if you're acting as self-defense. So let's put a hypothetical here. Let's say 2 pedophiles who are convicted pedophiles, neither one of them should have a gun. One starts shooting at the other shoots the other in self-defense. The self-defense guy doesn't get in trouble for possessing a firearm because it's in self-defense. When you are acting in self-defense, there are a lot of things that go away. like your ability, because at this point, if he's 12 years old and someone's trying to shoot him, a 12-year-old shouldn't have a firearm. But if a 12-year-old is defending himself with a firearm, maybe we should ask ourselves other questions. Why are there 3 different people that try to kill this guy that's 17 years old? Let's ask that other question. Why does a convicted felon have a firearm? Let's ask that question. Why are there no charges against the convicted felon after the fact now? Let's ask that question.
The one that's left alive.
Yeah, the arm guy. So I'm dead leg. He's dead arm.
I'm good with it. I'm good with it. He lost an arm. Kyle Rittenhouse went through fucking painstaking trial. I think we all step away from it, you know.
And the other thing is at the time, he's 17 years old. Think of all the traumatic events that had been coming up through this young man's life up to that point. That's it. That is the most traumatic event in his life that he had experienced. Now, you as a police officer, as a veteran, me as a police officer, as a veteran, we had seen shit before. So if we went through this, it'd be a totally different situation. Now you have someone that's has no real formal training. He's not in a police department. He's never been deployed. And he's able to not only return fire in self-defense, but only hit the people that are attacking him.
And legally do everything. There was no bullet that struck anybody else. There was no questionable, like, oh my God, should he have shot that guy? He kept it all within his, legal bearing to do so.
Every bit of it. So leading up to this, they're saying that if you took a firearm, one of the arguments was if you took a firearm to the event or to the riot, if you took a firearm to the riot, that it shows intent. Did that same metric get applied to everybody else that was at the riot with the firearm? No, but because you can't go back and say that he shouldn't have been there or he shouldn't have had this or you can't eliminate his ability as an American citizen to do what other American citizens are doing, period.
Yeah.
And if you're not going to apply things equally, what have we been saying?
That's because it's called a hit job.
What have we been saying? If the law is not applied equally, then what's the law?
We just want some fairness. We want it equally across the board. I can get down with anything as long as it's equally across the board. But you know what? We're about to watch Kyle Rittenhouse give some dirt naps, but we're going to give regular naps with our Shell Shock sponsor and our Failure to Stop sponsor, Ghost Bed. You like that? Did you like that?
What a transition.
We're giving regular naps. We're giving 50% off at ghostbed.com/wolfpack. 50% off your Ghost Bed. And they don't just have beds. They got mattress toppers, cooling sheets. They got everything. The little pillow that Eric takes with him. I guarantee Eric's got the little stupid pillow with him right now because he takes it everywhere.
He does.
I'm telling you, he takes that fucking thing everywhere. So it must be pretty comfy. But they're also aligned with us and they ain't backing out of Shell Shock. They're our main sponsor. So go hit them up. They take care of all of us as podcasters and they're proud to do so. And then what's the Factor Meals? Yes, again, Eric probably has them with him as well. I cannot say I love eating home cooked meals and I love meal prepping, right? But this week I ran out of meals and I don't have the time. And it doesn't take a lot of time to cook meals. To meal prep, maybe about an hour and a half. You add cleanup, you add thawing out, you forget to take the meat out, then you make the food package, but you got to go. Now your fucking counters and oven tops are in disarray. It sucks. And it's time consuming. And if you're not a stay-at-home mom or you're not like a YouTuber, which both of us are not, we both work, I work a regular job. Factor Meals is a saving grace. You stock your fridge. They've got everything you need. Protein heavy. What do they got? Like more athletic meals, more lean meals.
Calorie conscious.
They probably got some weird shit like vegan meals or some shit like that.
Yep. They got that too. Vegetarian options.
So go to factor75.com.
Yeah, he says it's factormeals.com. If you Google Factor Meals, it'll come up, but it's actually factor75.com. Wolfpack 50 get you 50% off your first order.
Yeah. All right. Thanks, guys. We're going to get into the breakdown. Woo! Get canceled.
So So the video that we're going to pull up here, and I'm going to stop it as soon as it comes up. So the video that we have here this is after the first incident. So he's already had the shooting at the gas station. So where they were at the gas station, there was drone footage, and I was able to find some of the drone footage, but I wasn't able to find some of the drone footage without all of the extra commentary of the news. Well, let's look at this and let's put my opinion in on this. Because when we want to present, I just want to present it as raw as possible, and then we could talk about it afterwards. So he's already been involved in the first shooting. So he's moving away from that first shooting event. So people are already following him. They're yelling. There's already crowds following him. So this is... They're slowing this down. We'll come right back to this in just a second.
You did. Okay, so this is all in chronological order, right?
Yep. So this is after the gas station. This is after the first shooting.
Okay, so what we just saw, was that the first shooting?
That's the second.
Okay.
So they did a little Quentin Tarantino. You
got you. They drew you in with it, and then now this is after the first shooting. The first shooting, there's no video footage that you can find, right?
There's not a whole lot of that I could find, and then there's some of the footage that kind of, I would say, acquitted him or really helped him out was the FBI drone footage that was up from that day. Because little did the public know, the FBI had drones up, and they were watching this all go down. They were all down watching this go down. So then they had to subpoena to get all those stuff. So he's already left the gas station. He's running towards, on the left side of the screen at the end of the street is a line of police cars. So that's something to kind of just keep in the back of your mind.
What happened at the gas station? What people did he give dirt naps to, and what was the circumstances? Do you know?
So there was a lot of commotion all at once, and I believe there was a shot fired, or sounds of a shot fire. He turned around, and there's a gentleman, and he ends up shooting him. He tries to start to return aid, and then he leaves. Starts to leave because there's a mob growing. There's a big mob growing around him, so he's moving, trying to get out of there.
Okay, but this person obviously presented some kind of fatal threat to Kyle Rittenhouse. If not, then he would have been charged with murder. So, I mean, I obviously we know that. I was just curious on the details. They're hard to find. Josh is not lying. These, especially with it just being such a hot topic, you have to sift through current events. You have to sift through the lies, and just to get a breakdown of what actually happened is a huge pain in the ass.
So Joseph Rosenbaum was the first person Rittenhouse shot on the chaotic night. This is coming from NPR. Rosenberg was the first. Rosenberg was at the unrest after just been discharged from the hospital in Milwaukee. The 36-year-old crossed paths with Rittenhouse at a used car lot as Rittenhouse brandished an AR-15 style rifle. Rosenbaum, meanwhile, was unarmed, carried a plastic bag containing a toothbrush, toothpaste, socks, deodorant, and some papers. According to Rittenhouse's lawyers, I'm reading from NPR.
Yeah,
he was acquitted by a jury of his peers in a court of law. According to his lawyers, Rosenbaum approached Rittenhouse and attempted to, quote, engage him. Afraid, Rittenhouse took off running, and Rosenbaum gave chase.
Mm-hmm.
Videos of the incident.
Hey, but you're chasing, by the way, he's chasing a guy with an AR-15. I mean, I'm not saying Darwinism, bro, but you fuck around, you're going to find out.
The video shows that Rosenbaum eventually threw the plastic bag he was carrying at Rittenhouse, who responded by firing 4 shots at the man. So at no point does it say, hey, he yelled, I only have a toothbrush, toothpaste, socks, deodorant, and some papers in this bag I'm going to throw at you. That wasn't thrown. That wasn't. He threw something at him and he returned fire. He didn't fire at him at the beginning. He didn't fire at him while he was chasing him. He fired at him after he chased him, after he threw something at him. So after an attempted assault, he returned fire to defend himself. That was the first idiot. Rosenbaum, I believe he was one of because 2 of them were convicted pedophiles. And I believe he was one of them. The armed guy was the other one. Anthony Hubner panicked and set off running away from the scene of the fatal shooting towards the police line. Or Rittenhouse panicked and set off. Along the way, several protesters who believe Rittenhouse was an active shooter began chasing after him. That's an opinion. That's an opinion that NPR put in there because at no point do they have any of these other people saying, yeah, I believe it was an active shooter, because they're just saying protesters believed he was an active shooter. They don't have receipts for that. I just want to point that it's asinine to me that we're talking about this at all.
Yeah.
If I'm being honest. But the 26-year-old grew up in Kenosha, was an avid skateboarder, and was at the protest with his girlfriend. He pushed me out of the way and I ran off and I tried to grab him. So you're a police officer? You can interject. Now we're okay with citizens interjecting themselves into community matters. That's okay to grab him, but when he's being chased and acts in self-defense, that's
like
not okay.
They can implement themselves to stop something. What was Kyle doing?
Running away.
Well, no, at the time he was implementing himself into a situation to make it better. So he can't do that, but they can do this.
He eventually caught up to Rittenhouse and tried stopping him by hitting him with a skateboard, but the single blow was not enough to bring Rittenhouse down. I gotta share my screen because there's no way that that this is gonna be. So we're right here. So the single blow was not enough to bring him down. So the single blow that with a skateboard. Do you want me to pull up the articles of people getting hit by skateboards and are in comas for the rest of their life or paralyzed or dead? Do you want me to bring that up? Because a skateboard's a deadly weapon.
Yeah, especially when you use a truck. If you don't know what a skateboard is, there's the board, which is going to hurt. It's wood, but there's metal trucks attached to that piece of wood, and the leverage used from one end of the skateboard coming down. If that truck on the other end of that skateboard hits you in the head, it will fucking kill you.
Night, 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 night. Within seconds of the tussle, Rittenhouse fired a single fatal shot, and Hubner, who can be seen staggering away, collapsing to the ground in the video, the footage of the incident. So this is where, right here, about here is where we start to pick up this video here. So Kyle is the fellow.
You got people on scooters just fucking la 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 la.
With the backpack in the middle of the screen and the white hat on backwards. He's the one that's being chased by the gentleman in white. The gentleman in red is chasing him.
All right, so he just swung.
He just got hit.
Okay. Didn't take him down.
The crowd's yelling, "Get him!"
All right, he's down. He tripped, right? But he just got whacked in the head.
But he's still running away.
Yeah.
Running away from the threat. In some states, they would call that duty to retreat.
Yeah.
Well, I'm just gonna point out some legal things for you guys. Then he trips and falls. While he's tripping and falling, you hear people yell, "Get him!" I don't know. Psychologically, those are things that usually tell people to do things like get him.
Yeah. Oh, he did.
There's a skateboard.
All right, go back. Did you pause it, or is the video pausing because it doesn't want it wants to be sensitive?
A little bit of both. So
AR's up. He shoots him. Oh, they hit him in the head with a skateboard right there. Oh, that's the arm.
Yep.
So dude, first dude that got shot in this situation kind of button hooked it and then dropped dead, right? He button hooked it back around Kyle. Like he's laying dead now. And then this dude goes to hit him with a skateboard again. What's this?
No. This is the third guy. This would be Gage Grosskritz. I'm mispronouncing his name. I'm not doing it on purpose. It's just, I don't care because he tried to kill somebody. He comes up with a firearm.
Oh, shit.
And he gets shot in the arm while trying to shoot somebody. So here's skateboard.
That skateboard guy. He's dead. That's firearm guy. And he's armless now.
Yep. Now I want you to notice. He stopped firing.
Yep.
The threat has stopped. He stopped firing.
Yep, because there's a guy right in front of him like this with his hands up. For our audio listeners, I know it's annoying as hell that you can't see any of this, but right now we paused it 4 seconds ago, he just killed the guy that hit him with a skateboard. 1 second ago, he just shot the guy and took his arm off that had a firearm. And now Kyle Rittenhouse is back up on his feet, and there is a hands up, don't shoot guy right in front of him. And Kyle shows great firearm discipline, great discipline in itself. He could have fucking tunnel visioned and shot the shit out of everybody, but he did not. Great restraint, Kyle.
So one could argue maybe the opposite of an active shooter. Just put it out there, because if he's an active shooter, he's just going to keep shooting.
Yeah.
With intent to keep.
My opinion is that he's not an active shooter, but that's my opinion.
He actively defended himself against people trying to cause serious bodily harm or death to himself. That's what he did. So now the next little bit, I kind of want to play it out. I'll turn the volume down because there's a lot of screaming and stuff. But this is immediately, he just now, at this point, he's dirt napped 2 people. He made sure one of the guys can never sign his name ever again. This is what happens next. He immediately, there's more shots being fired. They're not from him.
Yeah.
He's calmly walking backwards. Now what you can start to see at the other end of the street is a line of police cars.
Yeah.
A line of police cars.
So that was a cop. These are cops right now, right? Are they citizens that just ran by?
These are all citizens that ran by.
Okay, so the cops are like, hey, we're here. Anybody inside this corridor is subject to martial law, essentially, right?
Yep.
Okay.
And now he has his AR-15 slung across the front. He's running with his hands up towards the police. People are yelling. He just shot him. He's still walking. Firearms, the rifle's still hung. He has his arms up. The police car is backing up from him now.
All right, pause it. And this, if I was that cop, I would be like, well, what the fuck is going on? Stop. You know, maybe I don't know if they're saying stop walking towards us. I don't know if they're saying it and Kyle can't hear it. Maybe they're not saying it. Maybe that cop was playing on his phone and looked up and was like, oh, fuck. But this is a tense situation because there is somebody approaching your line with an AR-15. And just because it's not up in the high ready doesn't mean that he can't pull it up and engage. So, you know, and I could see it looks like the up armor is coming up now.
Oh, yeah. That's why we wanted to play this, to see. It's literally going to drive past him.
We got better shit to do, bro.
And then his buddy and another up armor drive past him. A third up armor drive past him. And a fourth one comes up.
I do not think that they have news. There's no way they can have real-time news that people were shot. Maybe they do.
I don't know how you can say that at the other end of the street that they were just parked at, they witnessed all that and didn't witness all that.
You think they did witness all that?
So if we go back,
there's nobody there at the time. I mean, they're back there, but they're not like there.
So the front car here is, you're getting blinded out by the lights of the front car, but all those cars are there. All those flashy lights. The one on the right is one of the up armoreds. Here's another car that comes in from the left that comes around the corner, but the cars that are all back on the other side of the intersection, those are all those up armoreds. Because now they start to move forward here in just a second. Because they're literally, the armored ones are literally creating the line. That's the cutoff line. So now they all pull forward.
What are they saying?
Is there someone injured straight ahead?
Okay, so they are tracking that there was something that went down.
Now he just walks up to the passenger side of the car. It looks like they said something to him because he backs up. Now everybody's getting out of the TAC vehicles. I want to point out what they're doing. They're getting a victim out of a combat zone. They're not rendering aid in the combat zone. They're going to pick the victim up and get them into a vehicle and get them out of the combat zone. Because if any of these first responders here take a round, now you have 2 victims. Now you have 3 victims. So just to give context to this whole environment where he's at, where he was just an active shooter, the police just rolled up in 4 armored vehicles, and they're going to pull the victims back out of the area because they don't want to be in that little zone that he was just in either. No. That's how dangerous this space is right now. So they're going to load him up and get him out of here. This is Arm Guy. I left this here. Arm Guy is flanked here by... Why did this guy bring his AR-style rifle to the protest? Why? Was he there to cause violence? Was he there to just be an active shooter?
It's because there's 2 arguments. He was there to cause violence with an AR-15, or he was there, like Kyle Rittenhouse, to do good with an AR-15. And if that's the case, he's helping out someone that just got shot trying to attack somebody. So, this whole thing is across the board.
This is from the websterslawoffice.com. This is just a quick little summary of the case. The motivation we get down here. Many have argued that there's no need to bring an assault rifle to a protest unless one expects to be harmed or to inflict harm. Many have argued that there is no need to bring an assault rifle to a protest unless one expects to be harmed or inflict harm. What you're not seeing on the screen is a protester, not Kyle Rittenhouse, carrying an AR-style rifle.
With a fucking hunting scope on that bitch.
Yeah. Carrying Arm Guy away.
Did he lose his arm?
No.
Oh, he's got a dead arm, though, probably.
Yeah. Coincidentally, down here, what you see is a magazine off to the left and his pistol off to the right. A pistol, which in every other state is an AR or is a deadly weapon. So this is an interview with someone right afterwards.
Somebody with a gun and shots were fired. And unfortunately, we got 2 people who were shot, possibly a third. We're still trying to sort all that out.
The person with you guys, the one that started the shooting up here.
I'm going to point out again, the guy getting interviewed is carrying an AR-style rifle. Many have argued that there is no need to bring an assault rifle to a protest unless one expects to be harmed or inflict harm.
We saw him running down the street with a rifle.
I don't want to keep repeating it.
But then they attacked him as he was running away, saying that he shot somebody. He had a medic bag on his back. He did?
Yeah, he was the one that shot somebody because he ran.
So then the interview gets cut off, and they show a couple pictures here.
So that's a gun in that guy. Okay, so the gun's still in hand, but he's all fucked up. So he's holding it like
because he shot him through the forearm, so it did the death grip to it. So now he's got the death grip, and his arms all getting ready to that. So he's walking away holding his arm like this, and then eventually it falls out of his hand, and it ends up where the picture showed. I don't know if they show any more pictures. Yeah, they just zoom in a little bit. And yeah, there's the gun in his hand.
Hey, the guy had a fucking firearm.
Do you want me to show you? Like, I can pull up, I don't know. I was just going to say countless. I could pull up countless police shootings where the police are in close quarter combat with someone firing at them, and the suspect doesn't get hit and the police don't get hit. And they'll fire 60 rounds. Or you'll have another shootout and you'll fire 200 rounds. You will the Acorn. Remember the Acorn?
Yeah.
How many rounds got fired in Acorn? And the only thing that got hit there was his reputation.
Yep.
This kid, this 17-year-old kid, only shot the people that were attacking him. And he only shot them after he was being attacked. He didn't shoot him when he was being chased. He shot him when he threw the bag at him. He didn't shoot him while he was being chased. He shot him after he'd been hit in the head with a skateboard. He didn't shoot him after he was being. He shot him after he pulled a firearm on him.
Yeah, and a lot of people. Here's the thing: is the bag thing you could sit there and try and pick apart the first shooting that caused all of this, but it's the unknown. you have the way they look at these cases is it's what was perceived at the time. So, I don't have the transcripts. I really don't. I don't have the details, but I'm assuming Kyle Rittenhouse's defense utilized the fact that, Kyle Rittenhouse did not know that it was a bag full of toothbrushes or whatever the fuck it was. It could be anything.
Yeah.
So when you use something as a weapon, in a lot of states, that makes it into a felony, like regular assault, with your fists. As soon as you utilize an object, it can become a felony. So that's probably also what they use in Kyle Rittenhouse's defense. What's the so do we know how he was arrested? As far as was he arrested that night? Was he arraigned? Like what?
I don't know the specific. I think he was arrested right then, at the incident, and then they start to slow down and figure out what was going on. And
so he was probably at least detained.
Yeah, I believe he was at least detained, and then they started going through their stuff. After the shooting, armed guy filed a lawsuit arguing that city officials, law enforcement were aware of, supported, and collaborated with armed vigilantes on the night of the shooting.
But he's not an armed vigilante.
He himself, well, not now.
Yeah.
He can be armed to do anything now. He can be a leg vigilante. He can walk around you and annoy you.
But no, in all seriousness, so that's literally what that says. That says that's what he sued for. Yet, what was he calling himself in that situation?
Or the other guy that we showed on video helping pick him up, or the other guy on video that we just showed doing an interview, or any of the other people. Like, how many of the other people were firing rounds? Because I showed you while he was walking away, you can hear more rounds going off in the back. So are all of those people going to be involved? You can't pick and choose and say just this one person right here, this one you can't, but all these other ones can. No, we don't live in a world like that. That's different countries. That's different rules. We live in a world in this country where the law is the law and it gets applied to everybody. Am I happy that he got arrested or any of this happened in the first place? No. Am I happy that he was completely acquitted? 1,000% yes. Because anybody that comes up and says, well, Kyle was a murderer. Kyle defended himself against 3 people. You can argue that the first one but you don't know. So the unknown there, he defended himself against an unknown. The other 2 were for sure deadly threats. So he defended himself against 2 known deadly threats and 1 unknown deadly threat. He walked out of there, and the only people that aren't here are the ones that were causing harm.
Yeah.
So the people that come out and go, he shouldn't have been there. Well, then nobody should have been there. Yep. No one gets to protest. No one gets to exercise their First Amendment right, because the First Amendment right doesn't have a little asterisk that says if you're 17 years old, you can't come out and protest.
Or if you vote Democrat, you can come out and protest, but nobody else can, right? It's not.
Because the other thing, that's another thing about the climate at the time. This was allowed to go on. While this is going on, the rest of the country is literally locked down. This is allowed, but you can't go to your grandma's. This is right during the middle of COVID. So you can't go to your grandma's funeral, but this unlawful riot is a lawful protest. How many businesses are burned down? How many, give me the interviews of the people of the community that says this has benefited our community. The fact that we burnt it to the ground has benefited our community. The fact that we have no police officers anymore because they've all left, because they have fear for doing their jobs because they're going to be persecuted by radical district attorneys trying to make a name for themselves. We shouldn't even be talking about this. And then it comes down to, I'm going to pull out of a concert because Kyle Rittenhouse is going to be there and that's a surprise. And then it's America. Okay. You can disagree with things. You don't even have to agree with the verdict. Your opinion could be different. However, the opinion of a jury, the opinion of a court of law, he did nothing wrong, period.
Yeah. And you'd have to be literally saying the Constitution doesn't apply anymore if you don't trust. Like you said, you could be upset and you can have your opinion, but you, as an American, you have to trust the court process, much like you're supposed to trust the voting process. Now, we could get into the weeds here, but I don't trust the court process. I don't think that Derek Chauvin was given a fair trial. I think he was a sacrificial lamb. I feel like was the Derek Chauvin trial going on at the same time as this, or was that before this?
This Chauvin trial is what kicked all this off.
Okay. Yeah.
So so George Floyd happened, and then they had been rioting, mostly peaceful protesting with burning buildings in the background. They've been rioting for days, if not weeks, leading up to this. Like,
so
this didn't.
Another thing is picking an impartial jury. It's impossible in 2024. When they made the Constitution and they made all these documents through 250 years ago, there was no such thing as social media. There was newspapers, right? And that's how they disseminated information. So at most, you read what the newspapers told you, which is the same concept as social media today. However, it's rapid pace. So there's no way that you're going to get 12 people that are unbiased and do not already have a preconceived notion of what they're sitting in on, right? There's just no way. So it's the fact that Kyle Rittenhouse walked away from this not guilty blows my mind. I think he is not guilty. That's my opinion. But the fact that he walked away not guilty is very surprising.
Especially given what else was going on, like that they did convict Chauvin. Like, that's the same court system. It's the same area, at all going at the same time. Like, it's scary because you say that we think that the court system, like you're saying, but then you have someone. Have you ever stopped anyone for speeding last month?
Me?
Have you done a traffic stop for speeding?
I mean, just for the sake of no, I don't have a radar anymore, so I stop them from other things.
But you stop cars for other things. So you've stopped probably hundreds of cars in the last month. How many of them made the news? None. Tariq Hill gets pulled over for speeding. We're not talking he just shot 3 people in the middle of the street. He's speeding. And then he doesn't comply with the police officer's instruction. And because he's a football star, that's going to be national news. It's a fucking speeding ticket. First of all, slow down. There's great big signs on the side of the road. If you don't go faster than that, you won't get stopped for speeding.
Yeah.
Just putting it out there. Because legally, you're not speeding. You could be obstructing the flow of traffic, which is a different ticket, but you're not going to be speeding. Not only that, first, side of the road is not court. But we don't have this justice system that we need to have the body camera for that released instantly. We have to have this released instantly because he got out there and had his little statement, and the team got out there and they had their little statement all before the police could do anything.
Yeah.
So you get this movement behind thinking, oh, he didn't do anything wrong at all. And then you come to find out, you see the video of this car speeding through traffic and he's not complying and it's all this stuff. Well, maybe you brought a little bit of this on yourself. I'll go, okay, maybe the cop is a little bit of an asshole, but also he's working special duty and there's this car flying through traffic, an exotic car that obviously is disregarding any law that's going on right now. And then you stop him and he's continuing to be disobedient and confrontational with you. Sorry, you get what you get. I'll come up and Officer Josh, police, I pulled you over for speeding. And you come at you. Well, the only reason you stopped me is because, well, guess what? Not only you're for sure getting a ticket, but you just set the tempo for the rest of the stop.
Yep. But
I'm looking forward to it.
Everybody's
looking forward to
everybody's like, oh, the media has a responsibility and the media needs to. The media is the media. The media is it's privatized. It has no responsibility to you whatsoever. The media owes you nothing. Since the media was media, it is going to lie to get money. It is going to lie to stay a relevant source of information. So it's on you as a consumer of media not to be a fucking retard and just know there's probably another side to this story and I'm being fed a line of bullshit because it raises rates and, it gets clicks.
Because clicks are something that they can turn around and show advertisers. Advertisers turn around and say, look, I got 100,000 people to see this. And advertisers go, well, that's a $50,000 paycheck. I got $200,000 people to see this. Well, that's a $75,000 paycheck. And it just keeps rolling, keeps rolling, keeps rolling. There's no incentive to tell the truth because they're not being held accountable for it.
Mm-hmm.
I don't remember CNN falling on any sword coming out and going, well, we were wrong about this. And I don't remember MSNBC coming out, we were wrong about this. I don't remember any of the people in the debate coming out and saying, well, we fact checked the debate in real time, but we were wrong about our fact check. I don't remember any of that. None of that happened.
No.
They came out and they got their clicks, and they're going to keep getting their clicks because clicks equal money. If you want to want to see where this goes to long term, Eric's not here because he's helping people that probably won't even hear this because they don't have electricity. They don't have electricity to turn on their radios, to turn on their internet. They don't have electricity to do anything. They don't have running water. They have nothing. They don't have a road to get down to the grocery store because the grocery store doesn't exist. The road doesn't exist. None of that exists. And while none of that exists, the same government that's saying, oh, Kyle Rittenhouse this is bad, and gets with the media and all this is bad, all this, they're turning around and tell you, sorry, man, we're broke. We don't have any money for you. That's where it starts to get important. When you go to turn your lights on and the lights aren't there because your house was swept away and the government goes, here's $750 for you, bud.
$750. That blows my mind.
Can't even pay your rent with that. I can't even pay mortgage with that.
It's the fucking car payment that just went down the river. Yeah, you got 1 month free.
I can pay for it to sit over there in the dirt while I dig it out.
Yep, that's our breakdown. I felt like Kyle Rittenhouse is in the news, mainly because of me, but it doesn't matter. Everyone's acting like it was fucking happened yesterday. I don't know why, but so yeah. Well, I didn't know a lot of this stuff, and I'm sitting here getting entrenched in this, and I don't even know anything. So that's kind of why we do these breakdowns.
Yeah, I would like watch the trial when it was going on just to see. I watched the trial when it was going on just so I understand of what I'm going to be up against if I was put in that same situation. Now, I'm obviously I have physical disabilities, so me going out there in the middle of the protest probably not the best of things. I probably should be
a rocket launcher to your leg and wheel you out there, and then it's going to be a fake leg, and you're going to sweep it to the side and go, and then
leg sweep everybody with it.
Yeah, but that's your breakdown, everybody.
Yep.
I've got to go and hit the studio with Brent, filming with a cop that Jared Reston. I think he shot he's been in 5 shootings.
Ooh.
So, yeah, we're gonna go film with him. But I really appreciate everybody jumping on here and hanging out.
Yep, we got comedy October 18th at Tactical Brewing Company.
Yeah, if you guys seriously should consider coming in for the weekend. These are fun. Everybody fucking hangs out, drinks beer. The live podcasts are fucking a good time. So you weren't at the last one, were you, Josh? We did the
no. I was at the one where we did Ken Shamrock. Was the last one I was at.
Oh man, that was a good time.
Oh God. Eric talks about how we did all these people show up and I'm like, oh, okay. It's standing room only.
Yeah.
There was people outside with the door open, and then once we got done with the recording, then it got really fun because then it's not recorded. But then we can really tell you what we think.
Yeah. So come join us weekend of October 18th, October 19th, Shell Shock. I can guarantee you're not gonna be disappointed. That's for sure.
And it probably won't be a speech from Kyle. That's not in the works. He's gonna be there, but he doesn't have a monologue ready.
Not yet.
Well, yeah, asterisk. We got to be at bat.
Oh, and everybody stay tuned. We're not done with the lineup for Shell Shock. And the reason why I was almost late coming on here is because we are lining someone up where if you're on the fence about coming, you're going to go, oh, okay, I'm going to go now. So stay tuned. Have the plane ticket, your Expedia app open, and just wait till probably tonight or tomorrow. And if you see something you like, book the flights.
Yep. And then if you're in the group, if you're in the Failure to Stop Wolfpack Facebook group or the Discord, I'll try to get, if I can get it together this afternoon, I'll start to get together a group, like a comment or a post, so we can start putting everything together. So if everyone wants to carpool or do things like that to try to help keep costs down, we can try to do that as well.
Yeah, you need to book your rooms, man. Like I said, I think they only have like 6 or 7 left. I mean, you can go to another hotel, but the after party for all of our supporters is in the pub. We rented it out at the hotel we're staying at. So ideally you want to be there. But all right, guys, appreciate it. Josh, take us away. Take us out.
If you shake it more than twice, you're playing with it.
It's true.